Hello, YouTube! I'm Pinstar, and this is The Wandering Village. So, what is The Wandering Village? Well, imagine you take the base concept of a survival city builder, which is in of itself a really, really good combo, a la Bandish. That's kind of my thing. Now, you take that city and you put it on the back of a beast, and this beast has a mind of its own. And where it goes and what it does has a direct impact on your city. But anyway, so there's an added twist to this. So we have to pay attention to not only the health and well-being of our cities and our citizens, but also the beast that carries our city on its back. Let us begin. We're going to start off with a new game here. I've put in collectively about 15 hours into the pre-release alpha, the beta, and the demo collectively. So I know a few things. I've honed a few strategies here. So I'm going to be giving you guys some strategic tips along the way. So let's begin. Oh, let's call you Unbuwood. The Unbu, by the way, is the name of the beast.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find.
And yes, don't worry, Jetstream, we are going symbiotic. I haven't tested the parasitic way to see if it's any good or not, but I'm going to play it like I see it, and also I'm going to play it the way I want to, because the Onbu is a cool thing. We don't want to hurt it. Hello, my name is Ombus Mumblemore. I'm the village elder here. Our people, the Neomians, have traveled far and endured many hardships throughout the years, but now we have come across an Onbu, an ancient beast believed to have gone extinct centuries ago. Our encounter must have been fated. It has most likely been asleep on the ground for a very long time. Maybe it woke up because the toxins keep seeping further and further into the earth. The poor thing seems exhausted and has gone back to sleep for now. I once read that Onbu draw their nutrients from the ground. I wonder if it can sustain itself out here. Seems like we need to take care of each other from now on. I am not going to play the tutorial because I will be your tutorial. So we're going to say no. So this is our city right now, and it is randomly generated. The patches of dirt where the rocks appear, the patches of green where you can farm and where the trees appear, are randomly distributed here. This one's a little iffy, just a little iffy. I've seen worse starts. We can make this work, but yeah. You generally want to be a little bit closer to the darker patches and have maybe a little bit more denser of the rocks here, but again, we'll survive. So just to give you a quick overview here, we start the game out with 16 citizens. Your citizens do not reproduce, or at least not in the context of this game. The only way to grow your population is to rescue them or pick them up along the way, which means that any of your population that dies are especially painful because they will not be replacing themselves. We are currently, looks like we are starting out in the jungle. There are 3 different biomes that you can start up. The jungle, which is actually probably the most forgiving and easiest biome to start in. The desert, which is probably the hardest biome. And then mountain, which is the 3rd biome type. But we're not going to be staying in the jungle this whole time. But we might as well use the jungle while we have it. Our resources are up here in the upper left. We start the game with 50 berries, just raw food, 30 wood, 30 stone, and 100 units of fresh water. Now, interesting thing here is your people do not need the water to drink. They need the food to eat and survive, but they do not drink the water. The water is exclusively used for farming. That being said, starting off with 100 units of it is going to be good because there is no natural rainfall. You need to harvest the water with air mills, essentially, which we'll get into a little bit later. But that 100 units will definitely be a good way to get us kick-started here. Now, as far as our initial buildings go here, with the 30 and 30, I have a very specific set of buildings that I like to open up with to get the important things cooking as quickly as possible. First things first, I want to build a farm. So this is going to take up half of our starting resources, 15 wood, 15 rock. And I'm going to put it we want it really close to the resource pile so it can get built quickly. Yeah, down here seems pretty good. Actually, what I really want, because that might be a good berry collector, we want to scooch it over a smidge. The other thing you want to do is not build it on top of anything. Not because that your people can clear away the stuff, but because we want it built quickly. We don't want them to waste time clearing away stuff here. So that's half of our stuff. The other thing we want to grab here is a research building. This allows us to get new technologies, and by getting one on the ground ASAP, it allows us to get our research cooking ASAP. This one, yeah, we'll put this down over on the side. Again, we want them closer to the resource piles, just so that they can, because all of our starting stuff appears here in this little pile here. Now the last thing is a worker post. This basically allows you to designate workers as general helpers. If a worker doesn't have an employed job, they'll act as a general helper. But this helps you not only enforce having a certain number of people be general helpers, but also gives them a speed boost. So there's a little bit of a bonus to that. And I find it useful in keeping my workforce nice and organized here. So yeah, we will put one up here. And that is all of our stuff spoken for. The other thing we want to do here is start chopping. Start chopping some trees. We're going to need that for our initial resource expansion. Here, we'll clear those up. Don't want to chop the little ones. They will eventually grow into full-size trees. The little ones don't yield any wood. The full-grown yield 3 wood apiece. All right, so let us unpause here. Boom. And now you can see everybody is racing, grabbing materials, boom, 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 boom. And now bringing that to there, that's ready to go. Now you got people hammering on the buildings. They're going to get started building here. What am I missing here? Oh, we must have distracted a few people. Okay, so we have our farm built. We have 2 people going on here. Now we have to add plots to the farm. Now one thing I've found with the farm is that in order for a farm to get anything going here, yes, all right, look, sidetrack from here. So our research tree, number 1 tip from me is this game's going to always pop up with these 2, and it's going to put a star to recommend the kitchen. Nope, 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 nope. You go hornblower first. I don't care if it's not recommended, because I'll show you why. And it's not for the hornblower itself, although the hornblower is extremely important. But we need the hornblower to get something else that's extremely important. Now, the other thing I like to do is I like to put a dirt road in front of my farm here, and then as far as laying out the tiles for it, I like to farm below it because it is actually a lot faster for your farmers to go into the farmer's hut, grab a thing of water, because they need to, in order to plant a beet, they need to go into the farmer's hut, grab some water, come out to the fields, plant it. And if you have the farmer's fields above it, they have to go out the front and around. So by putting them down here, it actually makes it a lot more efficient. Yeah. Yes, lots more sidetracks. But you know me, that's kind of par for the course here. All right, now we're getting our workers' hut built up here. We're getting all these trees chopped, both for the wood and also to make room here. And our farmers are going here. We're going to throw it. It sets up 2 workers. We're going to throw in a 3rd worker to begin with. Okay. Now we need to get people into houses, and this factors into the happiness aspect of the game. So as your population grows, they become more and more demanding. But even at our lowest population, at 16 people, we are suffering a 75% productivity level. So we're suffering 25% productivity penalty. Why? Because people are homeless. So they're not going to die due to homelessness, but they're not going to be happy, and unhappy workers are going to work slower. And we don't want that. So what we're going to do is get them in tents. Tents, the only form of housing that we have right now. They're not terribly efficient, but they are what we have. So we're going to do it. We actually want to build the tents near where our wood resources were felled so that we can get them built up here pretty quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we had a couple of tents up here, so we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's enough for the whole village here. Star sector? I'll look into it. Now that we have our worker post, we can load it up with max people. I've heard that name around, but I've never actually played it or looked into it. But I am certainly this whole week of Steam Next Fest is all about me covering new games and trying things on a one-off, both to see how I like them and also how my viewers like them. So yeah, all these tents required a bunch of wood, which is why we harvested up and queued up some cutting of the wood. Let's get this tree out of the way because it's kind of in the way. By the way, this massive giant trunk has 200 wood inside of it, but unfortunately we need an advanced technology to actually tap into it. So for now, that's just going to sit there. And as we get more and more tents built, more and more of our homeless problem goes away, and people get happier, and our total productivity goes up and up. Now, once you start growing your population even further, people are going to start demanding more and more things. But for now, our people are content. So we are harvesting up stuff, and we have some idlers. And whenever we have idlers, that means we need to give them more to do. So I think what we need to do is have them start grabbing some more rocks, but as well also get some more. Yeah, we're gonna have to rely on this lower area for stone, as much as I hate it, but that's kind of where we're planted at right now. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run our dirt road a little bit further out here. Dirt roads are free. They give them a slight every single video. That's impressive. That's really impressive. Well, thank you. Thank you for the views. So yeah, let's lower this. We're gonna run the road down to like here, and then maybe like down to here, something like that. That should be fine. I mean, once we get the ability to tap into this rock, then we'll be in good. You'll see in a little bit why I'm kind of hemming and hawing about this little section here. This is keeping everybody busy. Now, the nice thing about starting in the jungle biome is, so we've got a couple of different things here to the jungle biome. So the temperature is normal. Normal temperature means 100% growth rate for our plants, which is as fast as it gets. So our plants are going to become mature quickly. Humidity also means that we can throw down a air well here. And this will actually start generating. This is how we get more water, an air well. We basically suck the humidity out of the sky, and the more humid the region, the more effective these are. Actually, I'm going to put the air well over here. Throw a little dirt road over there. Maybe, yeah, let's get some of these rocks. We need to get some of our rocks on here. But the air well will ensure that after we've planted and used up our 100 starting water, that we will have a continuous flow of water. Well, thank you very much, Jetstream. Trust me, I appreciate the view, and the views, and the YouTube algorithm appreciates them too. Alright, so let's speed things. Oh, yeah, let's get things going just a little faster here. Did we have an idler? I don't think we had an idler. We've given them all enough things to do. This is bothering me. Alright, good. Someone's chopping it. I was about to say, go do something about that. Alright, looks like we're having a mass migration to start pulling up these rocks here, which is fine. This is kind of what we're after anyway. Because we want this up and running sooner rather than later. We've got all of our wood for it. We do need more wood chopped though. So let's line up some more wood to be chopped. You guys are double and triple screening me. I love it. Alright, we got people eating from their supply. We do need to be mindful of our berries. Now, these are the berry bushes. All we have to do is pick them. But if you harvest the berry bush, it destroys it. I mean, you get the 2 berries from it, but it goes away. Now, you cannot plant berry bushes, but they don't require water either. They're sort of a unique resource. And there's a building, a berry farmer, that if you can get a cluster of them that's dense enough, you can basically harvest from them continuously without ripping up the berry bush using that farmer. Like this cluster right up here is probably prime berry farm territory. Meaning that I'm okay to harvest up berry bushes elsewhere. But no need to do that until our people start running a little low on food. And heck, we might not even need to bother if our farm starts doing this. Oop! I think somebody's awake. Oop! Hey, slow down, slow down. So our Unbu is awake. So the whole thing that our village is built on is just woke up. So here he is, or she, or it. I don't actually know. From what it sounds like, it is the last of its kind. But now we be wandering. And why the thing is, why that's important is the world map. Ooh. So all of these little resource nodes are kind of the reason why we wanted to start out with the hornblower. Yeah. One thing we do need to get here is a carpenter. And a stonecutter. Carpenter gets priority. Yes, Dover, you have sent me some things through, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Alright, so this is the reason why we went with the hornblower first. We're still going to ignore that recommended research and go scavenger hut. Scavenger hut is what allows you to tap the resource nodes around the Anbu, which allows you to pick up, like from these forests, we can pick up extra wood or mushrooms, or we can go to these settlements and get more villagers. That is one of the only ways that you can get new villagers. So getting that up and running before the Anbu wanders away and gets this out of range is of paramount importance. Hey, and hello, Ainsley. Yes. We are getting things up and running. Oh, wow. Our farm fields are actually maxed out already. Well, waste not, want not, and all that. Let's get these planted here so our farmers aren't thinking. Although I don't know how much more they're going to be planting because they're already some of the crops are already coming up due. Like they just their thing. They're already there. All right, Hornblower has been researched. We're getting our scavenger. All right, yeah, what we want now is the carpenter and the stonecutter. This is what's going to allow us to get some more of the more advanced materials here. We have idlers. All right, I know for a fact we're gonna need more. We're gonna need more resources. So let's, as much as I hate to send them all the way up there, because that's like way away. Hell, you know what? Let's get these. That's slightly less out in the boonies, and then we can get this wood here too. All right, we got our wood cutter coming up here. Oh, actually, here's a nice little tip I found here. So now that we have that, we want to build the hornblower. We need 10 raw wood, but also 5 planks. Planks are refined from raw wood into planks here at the carpenter, which is why we wanted to build the carpenter first here. I can walk you through a couple of tips, Dana, on Armello. Armello is a little bit daunting your first go through. Or first couple of go-throughs, I should say. So here's what I'm going to do for the hornblower. Since we want 10 raw logs, I'm actually going to locally source them by ordering these trees here chopped. And then I'm going to set them to a slightly higher priority so that people actually run out there and do that. And then once that we have those log piles on the ground, then I set up schedule the hornblower, and then they can just bring the wood right there. And hopefully by that time we will have our planks created. Well, Egon, there's an interesting thing. So there are certain characters that absolutely benefit from dice rolling and people getting lucky streaks. But there are also characters that do not live and die by the luck of the die. Or at least not as much, that allow you to more forcibly constrain the RNG, and therefore sort of bend the game to your desire, to an extent. I mean, there are limits, and there are some times where you just need the right dice roll, or more importantly, you need the right card. But beyond that, you know, there are ways to, like, would I ever say that I could win 100% of the games that I play? Absolutely not. But I will say that I can probably crack 50%, and you know, go against the law of averages. Since technically, according to the raw law of averages, you'd only have a 1 in 4 chance of winning if you were just going through pure chance. Oh, they matter, Jetstream. I've seen deaths by rots with that. You roll so many dices that you give it to the king, and then the king just completely mauls you. All right, let's plan our hornblower. Oh yeah, interesting little mechanic here. So certain buildings can only be placed at certain places on here. The hornblower, since this is the thing that is used to communicate with the Anbu, has to be placed up near the front, near its head. Which I think is a cute little touch. So we're gonna place that up here. All right, stone cutter inbound. And this is what I was talking about, because we have no more stones down here to harvest up, at least until some spawn, which they'll just do very, very slowly. We have a bunch over here, and a bunch over here, but that's all going to be needed. That's all going to be needed to be transported here. And we want these guys cooking up the stone slabs here. All right, do we still have our... Yeah. Oh, we have a village and a ruined village in here too. And we're about to enter the desert. So, for all of our efforts, for getting this thing built up, it's going to stop producing water as soon as we enter the desert. I mean, it's not going to get destroyed, and our crops will still grow, albeit slowly. But yeah, That's going to be a little bit dicier. Just a little bit dicier. I think what I'm going to do... Do I want to get into a well? Not really. I mean, we are producing quite quickly here. And we're storing up about as much water as we can.